How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Now, before we get into the build, firstly, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody. All your positive and supportive comments about me being in and out of hospital with my heart problems recently is just been humbling. I feel very humbled and very appreciative of all you guys. It's nice to know that people care about you out there. So as well as it being plainly obvious, it is worth noting that if you want to build this high, you are going to need a mod for it, and luckily there is mods across all platforms for this. On PC, you've got Build High. On Xbox One, you've got Settlement Borders Extended, and on PS4 you've got Settlement Height 9000. I'll provide all links in the video description, but if you'd prefer to not use mods at all, you can build this without mods. It's just that it will not be an extremely high building, so it's just worth noting. So the foundations of this build is I do 10 by 10 of shack foundations, just because it goes into the ground and it looks like a sturdy foundation. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I go 10 by 10 just to give us a very big building to work with. You can go smaller, like I said, if you don't want to play with any mods at all. And if you just like a little mini version, just use this build in general as a template. You can adjust the height, the width, the length, everything. This is just, consider this a template. So to start it off, like I said, 10 by 10 of shack foundations, and then you want to go around all the entire outside with walls. Now we're using metal walls because I wanted to keep it vanilla, and I also just wanted to give it like that shine, and concrete just doesn't do that. I don't know why, but concrete, I tried it with concrete, didn't like it. So the next thing you want to do is use shack upper floors. You're going to go around the entire outside inside perimeter of this by the walls. Now the reason we're doing this is because, as you probably know, with vanilla walls you get a lot of gaps unless you put roofing down, so this is going to eliminate all those horrible gaps. We don't want gaps in our settlements, and a lot of this build is repetition as well. Sorry, I can't talk today. Yeah, a lot of this build is repetition. So let me just show you about the gap quickly. You see it there? That's just not going to look good on the settlement, is it, when you got a gap like that? So yeah, this build, a lot of repetition, so we'll not skip things, but we'll get through them a lot faster, basically. So you're going to go around with the shack upper floors, and this is going to, and all you're going to do is keep building up from this. And at the start, what I decided to do here is I wanted, because it's going to be like a hotel kind of building for me and my settlement, I wanted like a grand promenade entrance. So I'm using 3 along here, just because I wanted, like I said, like a grand entrance, gonna have a lot there, gonna have like a big open ceiling, so you can choose how to do it how you want. So now comes to the stairs, getting up. Obviously you're gonna have to get up there somehow, aren't you? Now before we do that as well, another thing worth noting, if you don't know my builds well, I like to go for realism. So for realism in this sense, I use warehouse posts. Now this is, I'm just literally chucking them on here, but I'll tidy them up later on. Now what this does is it looks like everything is supported. It's got like a foundation or a support. So we're going for the realism effect. Of course, don't have to do that. So here are the stairs. If you want to use pure vanilla, you can do that, you know, warehouse stairs, whatever you want. I like a mod called Homemaker. It's available, I don't know if it's available on consoles yet. It might be, some, don't quote me, but it's on PC, so it's up to you how you want your stairs to look. You can use any mods. I'm going to use, like I said, Homemaker and G2M Workshop, and it gives you stairs like this, and it just looks cool, doesn't it? Makes it look fancy. It's like, it's very, not rubbish, but it's like very shanty sort of town, you know, very retro and rusted and decayed, but it also makes it look at least a bit posh in a post-apocalyptic world, and you want that for a nice hotel, don't you? So now that we've got the stairs sorted, going back to repetition. So again, all we're going to do now is basically build up to the height that you want to get to. So we're going to be doing the flooring all around the outside again, and then putting the walls around, and then more flooring and more walls. And this is another little trick. I have mentioned this before in the past, and some people keep forgetting, but if you store your weapons into the workbench after you drop them, the size meter goes down. Now I have tested this on a console, by the way, so I have actually tested this. You can do it, I believe it's up to 6 times from full to empty on console without getting much lag. It depends how much you got in the settlement. On PC, depending on your rig, you can do it as many times or as little times as necessary. If you've got like an old computer, it's not going to work that well. But I do that because I'm building really high, so it's going to cost a lot of materials, and it's going to really like abuse the size meter. So once you get to the height that you are happy with, we need to start putting some rooms in, right? Now, I'm doing it this way because I've left gaps purposely because I'm going to be using concrete. Concrete works amazing to build rooms with because you can build above them, you can build them into the floor, no clipping issues. Like the wooden doorway, for example, you can't put a roof above it. It's so annoying, it digs into the ground, it's just a mess. So we've left a gap. Now the gap is intentional. What we're going to be doing here, after we've built the rooms, is we're going to be putting down normal wooden floors, not the foundation floors, the ones without the roof. And I'll show you exactly why in a minute. But like I said, once you get to a height that you're happy with, and I've just messed that up, once you get to a height you're happy with, I'd start building the rooms. And the reason we're doing the rooms first is because you have to continue. You've got to do the rooms first, otherwise you're going to have to scrap a whole lot of stuff just to go back and do the rooms. And I've done the rooms pretty much like identical. So I'll show you how I've built them. It's basically 2 walls and then a doorway, etc, etc. It's very easy, very basic rooms, enough to fit a bed in and some furniture, nothing fancy. And I'll do the same on the opposite side. And I haven't finished this build myself, but I'll probably have like 4 or 5 floors, and that'll be like a good 30 or 40 beds. And this is the little corridor that you're left with. A bit annoying, I didn't really want that corridor, but I'm going to show you why. So if we go up, as you can see, because it's going to clip into the concrete with the roof, it's not going to clip into the normal floors. So there you go, fixed. But actually I said that the wrong way. The shack floors won't snap to the normal shack floors that are already there, whereas the normal floors will because of the concrete. So that's why you've got to leave a gap, and it just completely eliminates this problem. And again, you want to be doing the rooms before you continue building up. Even if you just build the rooms themselves, that's all you need to do. Now, once you've got to your desired height for the first part of the building, you need to put all the roofs down. And it's going to look like this. And then we will get to the start of it, where it starts going inwards and upwards. So we're using these shack walls and shack corners. Now the ones I'm using here, the pointier ones, because there's a bubble one and there's a pointy one. I prefer the pointy ones when the building starts to go inwards, like on the first few layers. This is because it makes it look like a proper angle, and it just gives it that nice sort of smooth sort of finish like a real building would look, whereas it's not as bubbly, if that makes sense. Like in like modern architecture, it just smooths and like goes straight in, and it just looks sleek. Again, completely your preference on how you want to do it, but you need to line this bad boy up pretty well. Now the thing is, it doesn't line up perfectly, but you can get it pretty perfect. It's just very finicky, and you got to have a play with it first. But once you got that down, it's pretty simple, and you're just going to want to go around all the outside with these, and then put more corners, well, 4 corners in, and then yeah, just go around the outside, nice and easy. And once you're done with that, you're going to put some more roofing down, and we're going to use 1 layer of roofing, and then we're going to use some shack foundations to start building higher again, and it will look like this. So we do this because where it's got the upper part on this wooden floor, you can start building the walls onto it, so you can start building up. You can't do that with the roof, so annoyingly, but it's not a problem. You've also got to accommodate like your area for stairs. If you want people to be able to go up this high and into these parts, you've got to accommodate stairs for that, so make sure you make room for stairs. And then again, I said about repetition earlier, just got to put the walls down, more shack foundations, more walls, more shack foundations, and keep going until, I don't know, till you reach your desired height. I can't remember how high I went exactly, but I went pretty damn high. And that's what it's looking like so far. And I like the look of that. So, once you get to your desired height again, we now need to bring the building inwards again to make it thinner, but this time we're going to be using the bubble. It's not really a bubble, but it's more like a curved. It's not like a nice sleek slope, it's the curved one, but I just call it bubbly because it makes it look bubbly. But this one, you don't want it to be too much on the edge, if that makes sense. Now, I'm lining it up here. I don't want the corners to actually overlap the edge because it's quite a bubbly thing. It points out, or it pokes out, and I tried it when I had it perfectly lined up, and it looked like it was coming out again, like the building was going in and then out, and it just didn't look good. So you want to bring it in a bit more. And again, once you get to your desired height with that, you put some roofs down, bring it in again, and we're putting another layer in just to give it that angled look that it is coming in. So it's like a double bubble. We'll call it a double bubble. So we're lining this one up, but this time on the second floor of this, you want it to be further on the outside so they kind of align, if that makes any sense at all. So it just looks more architectural, I guess. And there you go, and that's what it's looking like so far. So, shack foundations and walls again. You know how this goes. Pretty simple stuff. Again, build to the height that you want. I decided to go with 3. Probably would have liked to have gone for 4 or 5 or 6, but hey, who's complaining? Once you've reached a height like so, put some roof down, and this is pretty much the end of the build or building. You're just going to slowly start bringing it in now, and every time you go up, you're going to bring it in further and further. And we are using the bubble metal walls for this again, because I feel like it needs to be bubbly like that, so it brings it in nicely, and then at the top we'll finish it with the more slopey slanted metal walls. So here we go, we'll go for the slopey slanted ones now. If we just put that there for a minute, because it's getting very small now, the space to work with, and things start clipping together annoyingly when you're trying to build. This one you want on the outside, so you want it so it looks like it's all coming in nice and smooth together. Yeah, that looks alright. Is that looking okay? Yeah. You might want to check as well. You might want to put a few down just to check, because sometimes if you don't align it right, it starts poking out or poking in. It's a pain to deal with. So once you've done the first lot, put some roof down and literally repeat the process. That needs to come in a bit more there. It's also worth noting as well, guys, you're going to need a lot of wood and steel for this build. Depending on how big you want it and how high you want it, it's a lot of materials. And that is all we're doing, guys, is every layer, you put the metal walls down, you put the metal roofs down, repetition again, and then you build upon them and keep going in and keep going in until you reach the top of your desired height, I guess is the final answer. The thing that I would like more is more of a slant with the metal walls, and I know there's mods that do that, but I wanted this to be a pure vanilla build. I didn't want mods to kind of rule how the build was done. I've used mods obviously to build higher and stuff, but not everyone has access to every single mod, so I wanted this to be pure vanilla so everyone could enjoy building it. And once you've reached the final height where you've only got one bit of roofing down, you just finish it off with one of these. Now, you can do this, what I'm doing now, putting the 4 corners in. I tried it, I zoomed out, looked at it, didn't like it, so I got rid of it. But if you want to, you can. And also, while you're up here, you can put some sirens, or you can put some recruitment settlement beacons just to finish it off. So, if we get rid of them, I'm going, because I didn't like them, I'll put some recruitment beacons on the top like so, just to give it like that antenna stuff that you see on modern buildings and stuff in the city. And that is what it looks like, guys. It's pretty good, isn't it? I like it. I think it's a cool building. I enjoyed building it. It took quite a long time, but once you realise what you're doing, like I said, use this video as a template. Once you realise what you're doing, it's so easy and straightforward. It's just repetition. And I'll let you guys decide how you want to do the inside. I'm going to do another video soon with me fully kitting out this building with the inside, doing everything up, making it look awesome, but it's completely up to you guys how you want to do yours. Like I said, video's just a template for you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, feel free to post a criticism and a dislike. I'd like to hear any criticism that you got, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing, and if you made it to the end of this video, well done you. See you on the next video, guys. Peace.